Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Sundays with Sully. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to give us a like, share us with your friends, leave a comment down below to stay up to date and in the know with the latest happenings in the marine industry. What are we talking about this week, guys? This week, as you can kind of see, we got a couple of toys and goodies set out here. We are talking marine network. Ethernet, that's the high speed, that's going to be your radar, your sounders, your FLIR cameras. Think of it, anything with a picture. That's what we're talking about. We're going to go over some of the basics of the marine network. And we're going to be talking and focusing on the Garmin Marine network in particular, but this kind of holds true across the board for everybody. We've got a real basic system set up here, guys. We've got our Garmin 8600 series chart plotter. We've got our GMS 10, which might possibly be the oldest thing in the Garmin Marine world still today. And we've got our trusty FLIR M300 set up here. So we've got all of those things going on here. So if we want to bring a FLIR product into our Garmin world, there's some things you need to do. It's very easy because you can take your Ethernet cable and you can bring that right in and go into your Garmin system. But before you do that, you need to have one of these guys. This is a PoE blocker, a power over Ethernet blocker. It's very simple. It's got an RJ45 plug on both sides there, and it looks really similar to this silver guy right here that is the coupler. So, what's the difference there? Why do we need to use them? All that stuff. Well, because we're talking about two separate manufacturers here, we've got a couple of different ways of how they're doing it. I'm not going to bore you with the extreme details, but just know that you need to block the power coming from the FLIR and the Garmin. You need a yellow PoE blocker. If you are putting anything into the Garmin network and it doesn't say Garmin or a Garmin company, anything like that, you better have a yellow PoE blocker set up on there. You can use this coupler after that if you got to make a longer run or you need to do a bulkhead fitting or anything like that. You can use that for this. Not a problem. But you better have one of these in here. And this is really easy, guys. I've gone ahead. I've already got my power run in. This has its own separate power source with this. And then we take, and it also comes right with it. This is a RayNet connection. We take our RayNet and we connect that into this. We have a nice Ethernet cable. And from here, we take our Ethernet cable, and that's going to simply click in here like that. You can kind of hear that click. That's now locked into our RJ45 connector. And then we're going to take the other end, and we're going to take that. This is a Garmin cable, and this is something to be mindful of on a Garmin cable. You can see here we've got two sides going on. This one's got the collar on it, and you can kind of see, maybe if I zoom in there, I don't know, you'll see a little red insert in there as well. So when you get one of these Garmin cables, it's going to come in a package. You're going to see there's a little red guy right there and this little two-part clip. Guys, if you're going to do these cables, please make sure you're using all of the supplied parts here. As I go ahead and I try and get this red guy out of there, you're going to see as I make this cable up, it's really easy. We take this end right here. We're going to take this little red guy. We're going to slide him right over and it sits right on there. And the reason we're doing this is to help get a better seal because this is a marine environment. I don't care if you put this down in a cabin somewhere. There's still moisture and it's a marine environment. So then we take this collar right here. This guy snaps apart into two pieces. We take it and he's going to sit really nice right on there. And then we're going to take the other side of it here. We're going to line it up, make sure we've got, tab A, slot B kind of thing going on. And then they snap together. So now when I connect this guy right here into this guy right here, I can thread it on. I don't have to worry about a loose connection happening. So I've got that going on right there. And then the next thing I do, very simple, and this is the nice part about, the marine network. I go ahead, I'm going to take this cable right here, same thing, I'm going to drop it in. And once I go ahead and get that dropped in there, you're going to see this guy starts lighting up green. So now we know this is communicating back to this. So as a troubleshooting method when we're talking about the marine network, one of the first things I always talk about is go to the hub, see if it's actually talking, see if we've got a green light going on there, see if it's communicating. So as this is coming online, it's just going to automatically appear onto our Garmin screen here. Now, it's got to do its handshake. It's got to get everything brought up and online, so it's not, instantaneous, because, again, we're dealing with third-party application here, but this is going to bring us up right there. As you see, we now have our FLIR camera. It's up, it's running. You can see I can spin the camera around. I can do all that kind of fun stuff with it. So really easy. That's the Marine network, not to be confused with NMEA 2000. This is basically, think of it as RJ45 connectors, your Ethernet connectors. So that's kind of a brief overview, some do's, some don'ts. Make sure you're setting yourself up for success. One last tip, you ever get onto a boat and you see loader recovery ready, you get the little red writing down there, that's a Garmin network problem. More than likely, somebody has plugged something like this, a non-Garmin product, into the network without a PoE blocker. So that's a quick troubleshooting tip for you guys out there in the field if you're looking to try and figure out on a fresh-to-you boat what's going on. So that's it. That's this week's Sundays with Sully. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you learned a little something today. We're going to be back next week. I don't know. We got something cool going on for you, I'm sure. We'll see you guys then. Peace.